In 1997, a game called Final Fantasy VII changed my life as a child. Fast forward 23 years later, in 2020, the Final Fantasy VII Remake came out and it changed my life again as an adult when it made our channel go viral and creating the amazing community that we have today. I never got a chance to document our original journey through this story, and at the time with FF7 Rebirth on the horizon, I thought, how about we re-platinum the game together? We started filming this back in 2023 on a brand new account, which was fun to do live with you all. I'm hoping I can edit this together and get it out before Rebirth drops. I think I can. It's just gonna be a little bit tedious. I do have to work my butt off for this. This is probably one of the biggest editing projects that I've ever given myself, but I think it'll be worth it at the end of the day. Unfortunately, I lost all of that footage when we moved last year, but I did some digging and we were able to recover it. All we had to do was rewrite the script, and now I'm happy to bring you all on our journey and start off a new series for our channel. This is the re-platinum of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah, brother! I got robbed! Are you kidding me? I got stunned right there. Our first trophy is literally pressing the square button 4 or 5 times. But I already got it on discount, so let's pretend that it popped. True story, this trophy is actually only 86.7% owned. That literally means that 13.3% of people that downloaded and installed this game died after witnessing that intro. This is so sad. Can we get a subscribe to help raise that 38% even higher? If I have any issues with bosses, I should check out this YouTuber, FF7 content creator that makes battle guides, BltzZ on YouTube. Yo, that guy sounds lame as he sounds like a TIFA simp. I forgot to tweet this shit out. Hold on. Playing Final Fantasy VII Remake for the first time ever and unlocking the Platinum Trophy live. This Jessie character sure is neat. Hope she makes it through.
He's got balls this Cloud Strife. He isn't a soldier anymore.
The story of Final Fantasy VII follows around a mercenary named Cloud Strife, who previously was a first-class soldier working for the company Shinra. He defected from the company, breaking ties with them, and he's been hired by this group called Avalanche to help them clear the way and complete their mission of saving the planet. But the first step is to disable a Mako reactor that is sucking the lifeblood of the planet. These Mako reactors are created and owned by the same company Shinra, which uses that energy to power the city of Midgar and a bunch of other things around the world. It's a pretty extreme first mission, but Cloud Strife's about his money.
Like I give a shit.
Getting back into the swing of things, the particles and effects in this game, I completely forgot how over the top they were. And what better trophy to follow that up would be technically our first one, Staggering Start, to stagger an enemy. Oh man, it felt great to get trophies again. We're officially on the board now, guys. Stupid!
Let's go. So, you know TIFA, right? It's not really my business, but are you guys close?
How Cloud gets involved with Avalanche in the first place is actually through his childhood friend, Tifa Lockhart. She convinces him to help them out, and here we are. We get a brief flashback of Cloud's perspective from their hometown when he was a child interacting with Tifa, which is pretty awesome to see, as it's our first remake look into what Nibelheim looks like and seeing other kids in their village as well as the layout. Longtime fans will feel this.
Are you ignoring me? Tifa and I.
Oh, you're not Tifa?
This pump's sole purpose is to drain the planet dry. While you sleep, while you eat, while you shit, it's here sucking up Mako.
My absolute favorite thing about this opening chapter is listening to Cloud and Barrett non-stop roasting each other at all points, when they're roaming around, in cutscenes, and mid-battle. Don't worry, deep down inside, they love each other. I'm positive.
Get help.
Say that again.
I'd worry less about the planet and more about the next 5 seconds. Save the screaming for later. Should have asked for more money.
I love these guys so much. I missed every shot. Oh, I suck. And to honor Barrett joining the party, it's only right that he gets us the very next trophy. Weakened Resolve for exploiting an enemy's elemental weakness.
Do your job, Bert.
Shut up and move over.
I never heard Cloud say that. Shut up and move over.
And more of the same. Come on then.
Aerith got hit.
Then do the damn job.
Barrett still doesn't trust Cloud, so he tasks us with detonating the bomb for the reactor while he watches us so we don't make any funny moves. And as we begin to just do exactly that, a mysterious feather drops to the side, which surprises both new and veteran fans with a completely new take on just how this scene plays out. Originally, Cloud does hear a voice, but it's telling him that this isn't a normal reactor. But before we can continue through, Cloud detects an enemy approaching nearby, and I love this little detail of Barrett pointing the gun at Cloud because Barrett hasn't picked up on it yet, and it just shows us how Cloud's keen sense of awareness is due to him being an enhanced soldier. And now we have our first boss in the game, the Scorpion Sentinel, one of the best intro bosses I've ever fought. Immediately dodge backwards because that slap is no joke. But the main key to this boss is to keep swapping between Cloud and Barrett to trade turns doing thunder magic in order to pressure it. Then, once it is pressured, you're going to use a focused ability move to build up stagger, and then just pretty much repeat this. Cloud, Barrett, and Tifa are the only characters in Final Fantasy VII Remake that do have focused moves. Phase 2 is a little bit different. It starts off with a heavy shield that you deal way less damage to it overall. But it does have a weak spot, the butthole gooch area. You gotta make sure you lock onto this because your magic spells can miss, but if you launch 2 fires directly to the gooch, it should do the trick. Stagger it again, lace him down with thunders, rinse, repeat pretty much this entire fight. Fuck. Are you kidding me? That's some bullshit right there. Okay, tried my life. I honestly wish Barrett and Cloud had more banter like this in other fights, which is something I hope they try to aim for in part 3. Oh wow, I got a limit break. They timed that shit perfectly. We might as well end it with an LB. Wait, there's no trophy for LBs?
Shit, the bomb.
Just shoot it, Barrett.
You hear that? Damn thing showed you how it's
Let's go. First boss is done, and yeah, the city's in shambles. Oh man. Hundreds of thousands died that day. Yay, trophy! Trophy chat! But we got our first chapter done, and one-time gig trophy has been unlocked.
And with nothing but a few scratches to show.
While yes, we did plant a bomb to disable the reactor, it didn't technically work the way as intended. But Shinra has other plans and decided to take this opportunity of Avalanche planting the bomb to destroy the reactor to instead destroy it themselves, but to a point where it will kill thousands, which will serve them very well in the future for their other plans. Now, the party in Chapter 2 realized just how much they destroyed the city, which wasn't intended at all. Even Jessie, who built the bomb, feels extreme remorse, saying it was never her intention, that she didn't even use that much blasting agent to deal that much damage. But Barrett reminds them, what's done is done. They knew these risks were coming along with this mission, and they need to keep pressing on for their ultimate goal, saving the planet at any cost. Which was always a thing in the original game. Knowing these actions are drastic and that people will die is just kind of crazy to see it with hyper-realistic graphics in the remake due to the way that they choreograph the scenes, and of course, how these actors are portraying the emotions and hyper-realistic graphics to compare with this. I still love both the original and the remake version of this though. The group then splits up so that they can meet back at Sector 7, where Tifa, the love of my life, is waiting for us, but not before a Jessie jump scare. And 2 Sephiroth jump scares. 2 big jump scares for real. I honestly love this so much. The changes, adding a mystery for veterans, and also, of course, for, you know, the boobas there. Sephiroth continues to antagonize Cloud and brings up some very twisted and dark moments Cloud would prefer to forget, uttering his own mother's last dying words back to him. Cloud enrages and he tries to strike him, but
good, Cloud. Very good.
It was all an illusion? Or was it? This next part, roaming around the torn apart city, was so expanded compared to the original game. They gave us a bit more, but I still wish we could roam and explore these streets again at other times of the day. I was hoping that was what we were going to get with the remake. We didn't get that, but I'm still happy with what we got. We finally meet up with Aerith, and Sephiroth just won't leave us alone.
You are too weak to save anyone. Not even yourself.
Are you okay?
Aerith calms us down and forces us to take a flower, and then she infects us with Dementors and Purists, and now we gotta run. This ending cutscene I always found pretty interesting because there's a Shinra infantryman that actually recognizes the sword Cloud is wielding. Probably one of the very few people in Final Fantasy VII Remake and the original that does. Which is an interesting idea to think about, and I love that inclusion and detail that they added to the remake. But of course, Cloud has to make an escape whenever it comes to grand entrances and exits involving trains. Nobody does it better than him. Actual cinema. Cloud regroups with Avalanche, and we're given a breakdown of how people pretty much live their day-to-day life in the city of Midgar, while also hearing of those that were affected from the bombing that we just committed. Society is broken up into two places. We have people living in the upper plate and people living underneath the plate. People living underneath the plate, they refer to those as the slums because they don't have it as easy or as luxury as you would get it if you live on the upper plate. Again, I love that these elements are actually brought to life in the remake. It really adds a whole new layer to the opening mission, even more than the original game was able to due to the limitations. We find another deep dialogue of Barrett having a back and forth with Shinra employees who are too brainwashed to see the ways of Avalanche. Barrett walks away, and then he uses Sexy Eyes no Jutsu on us, and it absolutely stuns everyone. You guys feel that? Do you feel that warm, penetrating sensation? That's just the Chapter 2 trophy escape artist. Let's go. Now, Chapter 3 is one of the most important chapters in the game, especially for this playthrough, because it's the first of many towards the longest trophy line for Final Fantasy VII Remake, the Dress to the Nines trophy, which we need to collect all 9 dresses for our characters, and we do this with side missions. Yes, so you can imagine exactly how long this is going to take. What this basically means is that we need to play chapters 3, 8, and 9 3 times each and do majority of the side missions there in order to be able to unlock all the dresses. But chapter 3 is also my favorite chapter in the game because since I was a kid, I always wondered what would a city like Midgar having a giant plate above it be like for the residents underneath it. And this chapter gives us exactly that. Plus, we get to do all of that with Tifa! Seriously, looking under the plate for the first time ever, you think back to the original game and how this could never really be shown in scale. And you see it being done here and it's nothing short of breathtaking. They took this area that was just one screen in the original game and made a massive main hub out of it. Does this chapter make anyone else feel all warm and fuzzy inside? Especially meeting with all the fine people who live here.
Mako junkie, huh?
Turn around and leave it once. I'll have no choice but to use force.
I ain't got nothing for a punk-ass bitch like you. Get on out of here.
We make our way to regroup at the 7th Heaven bar where Tifa works, and also Avalanche uses as their hideout. Cloud gives Tifa the flower.
How sweet. When did you get so thoughtful?
Guy can change.
My boy got it like that. And then Marlene tries to get us killed.
Like that.
Daddy says never talk to strangers.
My boy don't got it like that. There's a couple of trophies involving us collecting music in the game. We do this at stores and jukeboxes, and some of them are incredibly missable. But the first track is right here in 7th Heaven, and it's Tifa's theme. Tifa then shows us to our apartment. It's a cozy spot in the corner where she, Cloud, and our neighbor Marco lives. He's a man of few words.
Know what? It's getting late.
This dude has a problem.
Guess it's time for introductions.
And Cloud, being the nosy Karen that he is, heads over to help him relieve his bowels. Like, what do you think he was gonna do? And yet another Sephiroth jump scare is thrown at us. Before we can get frisky, Tifa jumps in and straight up saves this dude's life because Cloud was gonna decapitate him. And also, he's branded number 49. Don't worry, this is important later. The next morning, an old woman threatens us, and I kind of love it. Now we gotta meet up with Tifa.
Give me a break.
We now need to work for the money that we already worked for because they spent it. The work that we did? Oh yeah, that was committing an ecological terrorist attack that killed hundreds of thousands of people for only 2,000 gil. we literally would have made more killing rats for 5 minutes.
Which is why
But this is the type of power that Tifa holds on Cloud, since she is the one that convinced him to do it in the first place. Give me a drink first. I would have asked for like the hardest drink ever before I did this shit. Now we need to help Tifa collect missing payments for their filter business. The first stop gets us music number 2, the Prelude. Remember to always check these shops.
I ain't got nothing for a punk-ass bitch like you. Get on out of here.
Speak with our friendly staff to find the perfect weapon for you and your needs.
He's absolutely friendly.
After getting verbally assaulted, we finally meet up with Biggs and Wedge to start doing side missions. So fun fact, to speed up the dresses trophy, which do require 3 playthroughs of 3 different chapters, in this chapter, chapter 3, if you really want to, you can skip all of the side missions and just do the blue main missions to end it early. Doing no side missions in chapter 3 on your first playthrough by default gets you Tifa's sporty dress and saves about a good 40 minutes, because by doing all the side missions, you get to choose her dress manually. So you can save time by just not doing any quests here on your first playthrough. I didn't know that until after the fact, and chat told me about it. So this playthrough, we're gonna do all the side quests here right now. First things first though, we gotta clean up a little monster problem and get a tutorial with Tifa's combat. Shortly after this, Mr. Punk-Ass Bitchman gifts us our first new weapon, the Iron Blade. And then we can start our side quests. Our first side quest is to eliminate the Doom Rats. It's pretty simple. They usually appear after 3 minutes after you defeat the Were Rats that are in the same position. Or you could just do 2 other missions before starting this one, and then they appear first by default. It's kind of weird how they handle this in this game, I'm not gonna lie. Now we got our next trophy, My First Ability, obtained by learning an ability by clearing its proficiency, depending on how often you use that move, or meet the requirements needed to learn it. After killing the Doom Rats and turning this in, our first side quest trophy is also here. Trophy! Gotta start somewhere. Our next side quest we're gonna do is given by 2023 Mr. Happy. And all we need to do is kill the flying Drake enemies. But we're actually gonna do that one last since it is the furthest one away, and we can complete other quests on the way there. Around the corner from here is our next music track, the best song in the game, Hip Hop Day Chocobo. And there we got our first music trophy, Music Collector. Collect 3 tracks. Moving along pretty good. Walking around this corner segues us into Johnny getting his ass beat. Tifa fists everyone, and Cloud almost murders Johnny, who we just saved.
No, you're not gonna. Hold up. Wait, don't do it, man.
You want to live? Then get the hell out of town.
I'm starting to think something's not right with Cloud.
You're scaring me. You've really changed.
How?
I suppose it's... yeah, your eyes. They used to be less...
It's the Mako. Soldier, remember?
After terrifying Tifa and completely missing the meaning of what she's saying right here, it's time for our next side quest, finding cats. Every great RPG always starts with finding cats, and then it ends the game with you murdering God and defying fate. It's the unwritten RPG game rule. Now for the Drake side quest. Freeing a teammate from being bounded gives us bonds of friendship. Huh, that name sounds very familiar. And in that same fight, we actually leveled up our very first materia, giving us materia for beginners. Oh, that was so sexy. It's 2 trophies in one. It's one of the most satisfying feelings ever. This one's simple enough. Level up 1 materia. Also, there is a side quest for Chadley on assessing new enemies. We're not going to be turning that in just yet. We need to find all of these Drakes first. When it asks you to return to the scrap dealer, I accidentally clicked no here. But we're going to use this as an opportunity to find a very missable song. Barrett's theme song from the vendor by the front of the train station. Now that we turned in Mr. Happy's quest and Chadley's, do yourself a favor and knock out all of Chadley's battle intel as soon as you possibly can. Some of them do require you to progress further, but keep in mind it's all cumulative, meaning that if you complete one, it'll keep counting it towards it and let you complete those objectives even if you didn't unlock them. It's a very good quality of life feature for this game. Basically, you're going to be pre-rewarded with the completion upon getting it. Our next mission is to help out Weimer, a character who looks like he's wearing a Scooby-Doo villain beard. And we got to take out this experimented dog. You know, the type of dog that when you go over to your friend's house, they look you in the eye and swear, hey, he's not going to bite you. Yeah, that's this guy. After this fight, keep checking Chadley to make sure that his battle intel materias are done, because first strike materia is very valuable, and if you can get this right now and equip it, you'll max it out as soon as possible. And trust me, you're going to want to make first strike materia your priority here for your first playthrough. We have now another Drake quest from, without a doubt, the best lip sync character in the game, 10 out of 10 Creative Business Unit 1. 10 out of 10. Boom. Ba-da, ba, ba, ba. It looks so cool. Is alone at last now. This discovery side quest is obtained after doing all of the side quests in chapter 3 here. And this is what we've been aiming for. This is how we're going to be able to choose what dress Tifa will wear later on. So we need to do these at least 3 times during our playthrough, guys. Tifa then invites us back to her room to help her fix her pipes, and then she corners us. But the payout is we get to select her dress. Now we can go and select a dress for Tifa to wear later. I selected the sporty dress because it's my favorite one. But this is also before I knew that doing no missions gives you the sporty dress anyways. So by default, I could have just, saved this for another playthrough. Just don't make that same mistake. Don't do any side quests your first playthrough here in chapter 3. Get the sporty dress, and then your following playthroughs, you do all the side missions and choose the other 2 dresses you didn't get. And now we get to continue the story. Back to 7th Heaven we go. Tifa and Cloud have a real heart-to-heart here. She connects with us. And then the game cleverly puts something hard in between.
Beautiful.
I gotta go.
And now it's time for us to play some darts. Not only do we get great materia from getting the high score, it's also a trophy. But to focus, we're gonna need some motivating music, of course. See, the key to this is to hit the triple 20s 5 times and then a single 1 time. On mouse and keyboard, I heard this game mode is really difficult, but you follow this method, it's pretty easy. Boom, Wedge's high score has been clapped. Heavenly Dart Player Trophy is secured. After the top secret Avalanche mission, where they really just make us feel excluded, they kick us out of 7th Heaven, but we meet some interesting henchmen, specifically Don Cornyhole's henchmen. We make quick work of them, but for the first time ever, we actually get grabbed in this fight. I had no idea that they do this. What? I've never been held before? Excuse me? Huh? Cloud is actually a real bro. Barrett just kicked him out of 7th Heaven and the group, and instead of being petty, he did Barrett a solid. He most likely will never tell him about. Jessie jump scares us one more time, and she rewards us with the Ifrit materia. Make sure you guys equip it, because Chapter 3 has come to an end. We got that trophy. Chapter 4 is a whole brand new inclusion to the story of FF7 and gives us more insight to the team of Avalanche and the Upper Plate and its residents that are employees of Shinra. But first, bike minigame, which also has a trophy tied to it. You need to get a kiss on the cheek from Jessie, but you need to complete this without taking too much damage. And now we gotta rob Jessie's comatose father after a wholesome moment with her mother. Now the whole point of this mission is to help Jessie get a new type of blasting agent because she's upset at herself for the previous bomb dealing as much damage as it did. But remember, she's unaware that this actually was not the case and it was not their fault. But she needs us to help her infiltrate a facility behind her parents' neighborhood, which we agreed to. As we fast forward to make the plan commence, Cloud actually looks up at the starry sky and recalls a promise he made years ago to Tifa. It takes place at the water tower of their hometown, Nibelheim, where Cloud asks her to meet him at night, so he could tell her that he's going away to become a soldier. He does this to impress her, as she says all the boys are leaving, but then he reminds her that he's not like the rest of the guys. He's trying to become the best of the best, like his hero, Sephiroth.
Best of the best, like Sephiroth.
Tifa loves this gesture, and in the moment decides to form a promise with Cloud that anytime she's in trouble and needs help, that he would be there to rescue her.
Promise you'll come and save me.
Cloud recalls her statement earlier at the bar that she's feeling trapped and indecisive. He realizes that he needs to be there for her. And now our next trophy opportunity comes up in the next fight, after Wedge loses 5 pounds of butt cheek from these rabid dogs. Soon as the summon bar fills up, summon Ifrit for my first summon trophy. And now it's boss fight time. Roche absolutely hates fire. So all you gotta do is build up ATB and spam fire magic at him. It's one of the fastest chapters in the game, so we're pretty much done here. He then escapes, and shortly after that, one of the most interesting bits in Remake, another main cell of Avalanche strikes the base by coincidence. This is where we get to see Barrett and his crew are not actually the main component of Avalanche as a lot of us previously thought. And there are many other, well, different factions either working alone or together. I love this inclusion into Remake. I know that it's talked about in different forms of media and books within FF7, but I haven't read any of that. So now we're on our way to regroup with Jessie, who spanks Wedge's cheeks, and we're to head home. But before we end this one, we gotta pay respects and visits to the #1 waifu in the game, Broomstick Lady.
It's Wu-Tai, isn't it? Let me get my gun. I'll teach him to mess with Midgar. Don't you worry about me. I killed myself a platoon's worth of them bastards back in the war.
Just listen to that sheer will and strength. After some dope 1980s movie outro soundtrack, we land in the slums to drop Wedge home, lie about Jesse's pizza, and watch Big sweep dirt back and forth. And then Tifa comes to pay us a late night visit, and Cloud lets her leave.
Good night, Tifa.
But it's okay, because we go to sleep with Sephiroth. The Dementors arrive, they intervene and stop Avalanche from leaving while snapping Jesse's leg. Due to Jesse being injured and can't go on the mission, Cloud has been accepted back into the party. Chapter 4's trophy, Night on the Town, has been secured. Trophy! We start off on the train and Barrett is reconnecting with his favorite Shinra middle manager. But the story moves along here pretty quick as there's only 2 possible trophy related things in this chapter to look out for. A new music track, which of course is missable, but it's everyone's favorite stamp song. And then the Chapter 5 trophy. Barrett, Tifa, and Cloud go ahead on the mission to head to the next reactor to commence the next bombing. While aboard, Shinra does a second ID scan, which finds them, and they're forced to fight through and then jump off of the train. Cloud and Tifa generate a ton of audience tension here.
You okay?
Yeah.
And now we need to regroup with Barrett. We learn a lot about Shinra and the mascot that they use named Stamp, who's actually a beagle pointing us in the right direction to go for our mission. At the end of this chapter, we do have a boss fight, the Crab Warden boss. Since it is a machine, we get to return to good old lightning magic. Break its legs, focus on one leg each at a time, and pretty much that's the fight. The Warden will track one teammate, that teammate will be focused while the others can just break down its health. It's normal mode. We're not going to break down every fight entirely, even with hard mode. You guys got this. Chapter 5 trophy is ours. Plan E. And now, one of the worst chapters in this game. I hate this chapter so much. Well, it's one of the worst, but possibly the worst. I don't know. What do you guys think in the comments? It's so bad, I don't even want to bother with it and come back the next day with a comfy outfit. I don't know about you guys, but I always get lost in this chapter, even with the damn map. The level design is possibly the weakest in Remake by far. But simple enough tasks. We need to turn off sun lamps and make our way through. But the key factors to this are making sure that we scoop up that elemental materia that trolls us in the very beginning of the chapter. And this purple materia by this elevator. You gotta make sure you bring the elevator all the way down. And of course, the Chocomog summon materia. It's kind of forcing us to explore all over with the worst level design in the game, but we need to find it at the literal end of the path, which requires you to loop all the way around. Hidden behind the main elevator is a pathway for a secret enemy challenge. We have a timer to defeat this enemy who's very weak to ice on the way to the Chocomog materia. There's also a song that we can miss here for our collection, so you definitely have to come back here. Electric de Chocobo. Hip-hop is way better though. After we loop around, we find an elevator ramp that we need to bring down to secure the purple materia, and then we continue forward and almost circle back to where we started, but from the opposite end, if that makes any sense. I don't know, man. This shit is confusing. Chapter 6 is done. Lights out. We literally just turned off the only source of sunlight for those poor people in the slums. Chapter 7, one of my favorite chapters in this game. They even kept the hilarious surfing down the pipe animation from the original game. Goated devs. They won my heart back right after that god-awful level design in Chapter 6. After we plant the next bomb for the reactor to disable it, it's actually being revealed to us that Shinra's been playing us like a fiddle the entire time. They've been allowing us to do all of this so that they can film us and leak to the news that Avalanche is causing the massive bombings and explosions to paint a target on us. And also, they're detailing that we are in cahoots with Wu-Tai, so they can fund a new war against common enemies of the citizens of Midgar. Kind of genius and evil-ass plot, not gonna lie. Shinra has also muted the audio feed of Cloud, Tifa, and Barrett so they can't speak their piece to the people of Midgar, and they're just left silent to shoulder the blame. Shinra then continues to antagonize us and tell us that they're prepping us for a big boss for us to fight. The new state-of-the-art soldier machine, the Airbuster. Barrett is pretty hilarious in this chapter. He just keeps it real.
Okay, listen up, y'all. Everything Shinra has told you is a goddamn lie. Mako is the lifeblood of our planet. Those greedy bastards are bleeding it dry. Y'all gotta rise up.
Barrett, who are you talking to?
The people put me on TV. I'm gonna drop some truth.
1,000 Gil says they cut the sound.
That interaction is so beautiful.
Too bad Cloud is most likely right there. We don't get a trophy until the very end of this chapter, where we do have to lock minigame with Tifa, which from the original game, this was changed from a button timing press game to the stick drift nightmare. And before fighting the Airbuster by the bench is actually another song to add to our collection. So make sure you guys buy that. Now for the Airbuster fight. Before the fight starts, President Shinra makes an appearance to address Avalanche directly and fully details to us exactly how he's going to be using us to fund his war and sacrifice us as well in the process. Then thanks us for the opportunity, which Barrett, Tifa, and Cloud don't back down from his threats at all. And now we gotta fight the Airbuster. This fight is one that we did a lot in hard mode, and it's been a minute since we dabbled in the normal difficulty, especially since we don't have our endgame broken materia builds. But that's okay. We jam out to the Airbuster track. Lightning magic is gonna be your friend here. The main key to this fight, of course, is to make sure you maintain Barrett for the end phase, for his range, because Airbuster is going to move really far away and only Barrett can really deal damage to it, except Cloud and Tifa will be able to chuck magic at it. But Cloud and Tifa, of course, need ATB. So in Phase 2, make sure Cloud and Tifa have enough ATB so they can launch Thunder Magic to help out Barrett while he shoots. And also Barrett can cast magic as well. Once Airbuster is down, unfortunately, Cloud gets separated from Tifa and Barrett. See you later, Cloud. Trophy! Trapped like sewer rats. Chapter 8. It's kind of a mixed bag. It's one of the longer chapters so far. It's also one of the most important ones because the side missions here affect what dress it is we get for Aerith. And if you want her best dress, you have to do literally every side quest here. I honestly love that they added a Reno fight here as a boss fight. If you know some of the hidden mechanics of Remake, this fight is pretty easy. Anytime Reno does that animation where he tries to run into you, you can actually dodge roll into him and Cloud will cartwheel over and cause him to be in pressure. You can do this in both phases, before and after he summons the mines, and then proceed to clapping his cheeks however you like. For me, a good old lemon break is always tasty. So after beating Reno, we get to escape with Aerith and find ourselves scaling the rooftops of the Sector 5 slums. We then leave Aerith hanging, who has insane grip by the way. Then we desecrate the memory of the Buster Sword by using it as a slide. And finally, we get Aerith to join the party. Now, this chapter for completionists is pretty long, deceptively. Once we get back to the Sector 5 slums, we actually do see a broadcast from the reactor we just bombed and the aftermath surrounding it. But we get a character introduction of Scarlet, and she asserts her dominance very convincingly and continues to cast more blame on Avalanche. Shinra is further moving forward with their plans. Now it's time for us to meet the residents of Sector 5, and also Aerith's mother, Zack's girlfriend, Elmira. We have tons of side quests that we have to hit here, and none of them are fun, except Whack-A-Box. I do like Whack-A-Box a lot. But first, let's pick some flowers. It doesn't matter which flowers you pick, because you'll get the flower trophy later automatically, so just pick the same ones if you want. We're finally able to unlock the best materia in the game, but we need to kill one more unique enemy to unlock this one, Synergy, which will come in naturally from the side quest that we're about to do here. And right next to us, right behind Chadley, at the shop over here, is another music track. Costa del Sol, right behind Chadley at the shop. Now for the side quests. And the first one that we're going to be doing is locating the missing kids, because this actually counts as 2 side quests, technically. Once you find the kids and you save them, the Moogle shop will open up, which also has the Gold Saucer music track that you should purchase. And the second side quest is to basically open up the Moogle shop. So it's 2 side quests in one. This is going to be important to know for follow-up playthroughs to get the other dresses. Because for Aerith's dresses, it does require you to do less than a certain amount of side quests in order to get the worse or the medium dresses. But on this run, we are going for the best dress, so we have to do all the quests. Now we have a summon to get a trophy off of. Chadley has given us the opportunity to get wrecked by Shiva. The main focus here is to get Arcane Ward and chip away at her health and pressure her by casting fires while standing in the ward for both Cloud and Aerith. They will basically double cast. She should be well on her way to getting staggered. Arcane Ward with fire does quick work on Shiva. Now let's walk by the orphanage to get the flower trophy. And then one side quest we have next is to find all of the Buster Sword kids. But it turns into a second objective where we now need to defeat the Hedgehog Pie King. By the way, for this fight, focus specifically on the king first. He's gonna overheal and barrier the other two enemies, so just focus him, use ice on him, and then we are rewarded with a juicy nail bat when we bring the kids back. A call back to the original game, which had a nail bat weapon for Cloud there as well. But in Remake, the general weapon itself, it kind of sucks. It's pretty ass. But I have questions. Why do the kids have it? And why is there blood already on it? But the best thing about this is it's one of Cloud's best abilities in the game. Disorder. Master Disorder immediately and make sure you equip it. Side quest number, I don't give a fuck. Find all the unique variety enemies. This one is the Mono Drive Mark IIs. Defeating these enemies gets us the synergy materia finally, since it is technically a unique enemy variety. Now we have to exterminate some Venematus enemies. Our newly obtained materia synergy paired with ice here makes quick work of these enemies. So basically, you're going to want to equip synergy and ice to Aerith, make sure they are paired and slotted together. And then you're going to spam Disorder with Cloud, because Disorder replenishes ATB, meaning you can spam cast it. And anytime you use an ATB or an ability, Aerith will launch an ice attack. So you basically spam it over and over again.
Cost you 5,000 gil, though.
Literally put this old man down for 5,000 gil and nobody bats an eye. What's wrong with him? And now for Whack-A-Box. Equip the Iron Blade for this minigame. The Iron Blade is going to give you triple slash, and that move is really great for this game mode. Follow the directions I take here and save the triple slash for those 1,500 point big boxes. It makes a huge difference. Triple slash hits a wide range, so you can cleave multiple boxes at the same time. All right, I'm getting honestly burned out talking about these side quests, but we have to assist the Angel of the Slums. And now we got to take down an enemy called the Crowmogger. Arcane wards with synergy and lightning are recommended here to take down this boss pretty easily. All of the side quests have been completed. Yeah, great. But before we make our way back to Aerith's house, make sure you equip synergy and wind materia together on Aerith. And also put a wind materia on Cloud just in case. Now we're going to hilariously toss Rude's salad back and forth. Mr. Worldwide is literally about to go on a tour. So we're just going to spam abilities, preferably Disorder here with Cloud, and keep Aerith on top of an arcane ward. Rude should get deleted here no problem because Arrow just launches him no matter what. Aerith and Rude have a chippy back and forth, but of course Aerith gets the last word on him as he makes his badass exit. And now we go to Aerith's house, and Elmira basically tells us, hey man, you can't stay here. When Aerith falls asleep, you gotta leave. So we get to sneak out. Once we leave Aerith's house and you're making your way to Sector 7, Aerith actually jump scares us, and Chapter 8's trophy has been secured. Reunited. I promise you that chapter is way longer than that, but I can't bring myself to talk about each one of those side quests, let alone do them, guys. Chapter 9 has a lot of side quests to do, but at least some of them are fun. They also pertain towards dresses because every quest that we do here benefits which dress we get for Cloud. And of course, we're gonna have to do them all 2 more times after this. Also in this chapter, there's a lot of songs that you can miss in this, and we need to obtain them all because you do not want to have to backtrack all the way through these chapters just to get a song that you missed. Aerith in this chapter is going to be alternating between arrow and lightning magic when you pair it to her synergy, because there's a mix of enemies that are weak to both in this chapter segment, so make sure you do that. And also have fun with this hand minigame. I swear the whole time, it just feels like Aerith snuck out before we left the house, pulled up all these ladders, and set this up just for us to have a high five arc. I love her. Midway through, don't forget this Cosmo Canyon song. By the bench, this is actually missable, and it's a complete separate path than you need to go. It's coming up right after the second hand crane minigame that you do. So after the second one, make sure you walk around and you grab this Cosmo Canyon song from this vending machine. Hand minigames, Beck's badass, his cheeks getting clapped. Finally, we reach the end, and it's not really the end. It's only just the beginning, and still the bulk of Chapter 9. I know, this is one of the longest chapters in the game. Aerith and Cloud have that iconic moment in the park outside of Wall Market from the original game by the slides, when Tifa just rolls on by in the sporty dress. Now, for Cloud, we're going to be trying to go to my favorite dress of his, which is the black and blue one. And it's supposed to match Tifa's refined dress, which is also blue. We start this off by telling Sam the girl we're looking for is in great shape. This is actually going to give us Sam's quest line, which that dress pertains to. And guys, welcome to the Wall Market. A place that's almost perfect, but for some reason they removed the iconic Oppressed People theme song and put this 30-second loop track that literally loops every 30 seconds. And it's the longest chapter in the game. As we make our way towards the mansion of Don Cornyhole, Johnny's gonna run by us. Now we need to actually stop going forward and follow him so we can obtain his discovery quest. And also boost points for Cloud's blue dress, since we are going for that one first on this playthrough. It's been a while since we spoke to Chadley, so make sure you talk to him and collect a bunch of rewards that we may have hit along the way. And new challenges as well to go along with that. There's also going to be a jukebox nearby behind where Chadley is with the Rotting Pizza song. And we're going to need to go to the new shop across from the Coliseum to buy Cloud's best physical weapon in the game, the Hard Edge. This weapon gives me exactly that. We're going to head over to Don Cornyhole's mansion to further the main scenario. And Johnny is going to overhear us and join in on the challenge fun. Next, we're going to secure the Midgar Blues soundtrack. It's actually at the diner to our right. And this is going to further our music hunting trophy. Now, we got to go play Heads or Tails with Sam. You can't win this with any of your options, by the way, so it doesn't matter. But choosing heads also furthers the points needed for the blue dress specifically. Now, after that, we got to pay a visit to Madam M, who wants to release the beast on Cloud's hands. And depending on the amount of money that you spend on her courses, it pertains towards the dresses. But for me personally, I love the luxury course, so we're going to go with that one. It's not going to affect the dress progress because we're going to do everything else to give us points for it.
This exclusive treatment is reserved for our most well-to-do patrons. With the tips, that blood flowing. Is this how you like it? How about this? Or maybe this?
And unfortunately, after this, we're gonna have to diss Aerith's outfit by saying it looks comfortable. It gives Cloud's points for the blue dress. And then around the corner from Madam M's shop at the pharmacy, we can finally buy the Honeybee Inn song. Make sure you guys secure that. Because now we're gonna go to Corneo's Coliseum. We are greeted with an intro of what we can expect here. People are not going to fight fair. But to begin with, we're gonna have to talk to a crying and beat up Johnny. On the desk next to him is actually a tonic where I read that if you drink it, it gives you more points towards the blue dress for Cloud. I can't confirm it though, but that's just what I heard. These first 3 challenges are kind of a breeze. For the first 2 fights, we basically have synergy materia on Aerith paired with fire, and she's just gonna non-stop smoke enemies back to back to back. And of course, throw an arcane ward on her for just ultimate nukage. The third challenge, we're gonna want to put lightning on instead because it's mechanical enemies. And then the fourth and final challenge, the Hell House. This fight has gotten everybody on the ropes before. Just ask anybody that's played this game. The main thing with this fight though is we're gonna need to have every single element equipped. That's fire, ice, lightning, wind, and bio. Most people don't know about this, but the Hell House is very weak to poison materia, and it lasts almost the entire fight against it, ticking away slowly, dealing damage over time. So you could even run synergy on Aerith with biomateria. Do not put synergy materia with an element on Aerith for this fight. Don't do that with fire, ice, lightning, or wind. Make sure you do that with biomagic, trust me. The key to this is to pay attention to the windows of the Hell House. If they are on fire, that means they're gonna be weak to ice. If it's white, as in ice, that means it's now weak to fire. Green is arrow, and if it's that color, that means it's gonna be weak to lightning. And then blue, which is lightning, means it's going to be weak to arrow, wind magic. So whatever color it is, it's always going to be the opposite. After this segment, do not progress any further. If we do continue forward and go to Madam M's house, we're actually going to lose Aerith and have to come back on New Game Plus to redo all of these challenges with her. So right now, we're going to go back to the Coliseum right after finishing it and complete both Cloud and Aerith's solo challenges. You also get a trophy called Returning Champion. Let's go! And now we're gonna go back to Madam M to continue the story. Aerith is gonna leave the party for a little bit, and here we're gonna do a bunch of side quests solo with Cloud and Johnny. And these quests are specifically gonna be given to us from Sam. We're gonna start off with the squats. If you're good at rhythm games, you guys got this. I smoked Jules very hard here. Could have gotten 60 had I not fallen. And then the Sultan of Squat trophy has been sucked. Johnny will be tagging along with us for most of these quests too. It's kind of a great callback to the original game side quest that we had to do in the wall market. This quest, looking for the sauce, is such a huge innuendo. Just look at the way Cloud twirls his balls while trying to obtain key items that look exactly like phallic shapes. The final quest is a challenge where we have to defeat 2 bombs. The trick here though is to attack them while they are spewing the flames out in order to pressure them. When they are finally pressured though, you can follow up with focus attacks or ice magic for the win. Wall Market is such a long chapter, we just had to call it a day. Aerith stun locks everybody now with her baller red dress. Remember, you get this dress if you do all the side quests in chapter 8. That's a lot of side quests. If you only do half of those quests, you end up getting the mid-tier dress. And then if you only do 0 or 2 quests, I think it's 2 quests, you get the worst dress. And yes, on the next playthrough, we're gonna have to do exactly that. Now we gotta make our way to the Honeybee Inn, and there is a missable song here. Before we do the dance-off, they ask if we want to practice. If you hit all of the notes here during practice perfectly, you will unlock a new song, the Battle Theme Pop Rendition. You can redo this practice segment as many times needed though, so if you do miss it on the first try, you can retry it again. And now for the real main dance. Completing this will get us the Dancing Queen trophy, which doesn't pertain towards you hitting notes perfectly, you just get it from completing it. Yeah, trophy! I'm a dancing queen, bitch! Let's go. And hilariously, after the dance, Cloud tries to sneak past Aerith. If you talk to him a bunch of times, so finally he'll stop, you get the next trophy, Snappy Dresser.
Please don't. Not a word.
Not even one?
But one.
No!
Such flowers.
But you're so pretty.
Snappy Dresser. Okay.
It's the girl of my dreams. Forgive me, miss, but the way you're staring at me is rather... Oh goodness! Who is she? I need to learn everything about her.
I don't know how, but somehow I managed to do right by you. That fine dress is a gift from yours truly. What can I say? You helped me out, and one good turn deserves another, I reckon. Wasn't easy finding something that'd give you a fighting chance against TIFA, though.
And before we progress further, let's actually go back into the Honeybee Inn and snoop around.
No. Yeah.
I'm not done yet.
Where is she shoving that, sir?
I'm gonna get ya.
Okay, that was interesting. Make sure you guys, before you leave this area, secure the Farm Boy music disc. It's between the Honeybee Inn and Madam M's massage parlor on the 2nd floor next to the Cowboy Bar. Now it's time for us to make our way into Don Corneyhole's mansion. The vibes are extremely weird. As soon as you walk into this fuckpad hellhole. The creeps direct us to a room and they end up gassing us and taking us over to TIFA. This reunion with TIFA and Cloud is so hilarious.
Yes?
You okay?
I haven't seen this in so long.
Wait a minute. Cloud? Is that you? Oh my god, that makeup and that dress.
Nailed it. I know. Thank you. Moving on. What?
I love how she doesn't recognize Cloud right away. TIFA informs us that she's undercover to find out more information for Avalanche. Don Corneo's henchmen were found snooping around, asking about them, and she's tasked to find out why this is the case. So instead of breaking out and leaving immediately, we follow through and help TIFA uncover this mystery. We also have another song here at the Corneo shop, very end. Telling you guys this chapter has the most stuff to collect. Now in the original game, you had to actually complete all of the side quests within the wall market and possible extra things in order to get Corneo to choose Cloud, because by default he's always going to choose TIFA. But in this game he just does it because, well, the side quests are kind of integrated within the plot of the game. And I'm totally okay with that because we finally get to 2020's most iconic moment in gaming. Some of you guys might recognize this song.
4 guys between us. Okay, let's not keep Cloud waiting. Right.
Wait. I know you. The Colosseum.
What the hell?
Get down!
Oh, you stupid! Wait!
Good job, Aerith.
It was nothing compared to you.
Honest question, why the fuck is Leslie so strong? When we regain control of Aerith and Tifa, there's a very important accessory that we need to get. We're gonna head downstairs, defeat those enemies, and right behind the staircase, we're gonna get that Fury Ring. We can get 2 more of these in New Game Plus via chapter select later on, which is gonna help us out so much with damage challenges. Now, after we regroup with Cloud and threaten Corneo's body parts, Corneo reveals to us some very important story information. Shinra knows Avalanche's hideout is in the Sector 7 slums, and they have plans to basically murder everybody in Sector 7's top plate and bottom plate by dropping the entire upper plate on top of itself. And they're going to blame it on Avalanche. This way they can turn the whole city against them, painting a target on them and Wutai simultaneously, so the citizens' morale want to support a war, and this will further push along Shinra's dark twisted plans still to be revealed. Once this is revealed, we are given a multiple choice question as the group is trying to hurry their way over to Sector 7, which, by the way, the answer doesn't matter. Even if you get it right, we find ourselves taking a one-way trip to the sewers. Chapter 9 complete, Never the Bride. Yes, I know, that was a very long one, but we made it through. The following cutscene shows President Shinra and how they're moving forward with dropping and destroying the entire Sector 7 upper and bottom areas. And Reeve, an employee of the company, is trying to plead with them to not make this mistake. But Heidegger and Shinra are both already sold on this idea, and now Cloud, Aerith, and Tifa have even bigger problems. Chapter 10 time. We start off with making an important choice here. There's actually no trophy for this, surprisingly. It gives us points towards certain characters and who we choose, and it'll let us unlock different resolution cutscenes.
Cloud. We have to get to Sector 7.
Someone in the chat donated for us to start with Aerith, so we're gonna go with that one because I do love the way Tifa delivers her line here when we do.
That bastard.
Immediately after this, we're going to be thrown into a boss fight against Abzu. Abzu is extremely weak to fire, and the trick here is to have Tifa use Focus Strike spam to build up Aerith's synergy and fire. Hopefully you have those paired together with Arcane Wards at the ready. Rinse and repeat the same with Cloud 2. Fire is your best friend here. You can disorder with Cloud or use Fyra off rip. And now everyone's favorite part of the game, the sewers. Tifa has a weapon here that we should not miss. The feathered gloves, man. You gotta lower the water levels and you'll secure it on the left side underneath that gate. And the incoming item shop next to the bench also has a new song called The Oppressed. I'm honestly regretting this video idea, keeping track of all the areas where we find songs. But no worries, because Chapter 10 is pretty much already done. There's no trophies really in here, but we do get some great bonding moments between Aerith and Tifa, and Cloud being their punching bag. It's always a great sight to see.
Cloud can carry all our stuff. He'll be our pack chocobo.
What was that about me?
Nothing.
Now, one very not sexual minigame, beat up some frogs, and congratulations, we survived the sewers. For now. Chapter 11 is a pretty fun one, but it's also kind of short in regards to the amount of content you need to get trophies in here. But we can use healing magic and a lot of items to defeat enemies, and I really enjoy that a lot. But let's enjoy the funniest part about this chapter, where it's Tifa being terrified of ghosts here. And the funnier part is that Cloud is arguably more terrified than both Aerith and Tifa, but he's not gonna tank his image.
You're just being modest.
After we make our way to the first bench right before the ghoul boss fight, there's going to be the song, the battle theme rendition, and it's located right here at this vending machine, so buy that one time. This fight is pretty easy. You're going to make sure that everybody has Cure or Cura or the highest level of Cure that you got or enough healing items. You're going to run around the entire time until this ghoul boss goes into incorporeality phase. It's when the ghoul is going to turn red. When this happens, multiple people can actually heal the boss to deal big damage. You can repeat that a few times, and honestly, this fight is cake. It's pretty straightforward. The same exact strat works on hard mode too. But in hard mode, you do need to focus on staggering the enemy during the second phase for the max amount of damage. After we complete this boss and progress further, we actually come to an interesting cutscene where Tifa recalls Marlene telling her tales of what other kids talk about for this area, about how there's a ghost that actually kidnaps children and keeps their spirits. We get to a save point, which clearly means a boss fight is coming. For this one, you're going to want to make sure everybody has BltzZ and wind magic equipped. When the fight starts, we get a cutscene of Aerith getting kidnapped and trauma flash showing her as a child, and she can see the other spirits of the children that have been guiding you here that are all held captive by this boss, Eligor. And now it's up to us to free them so they can rest in peace. Now for this boss fight, Eligor, you also do want to have the steel materia equipped because just like in the original game, well, Eligor wasn't the boss in the original game. He was just a random enemy here, but you could steal a weapon called the Bladed Staff for Aerith. I would put steel on Tifa because she's going to make the most use out of it. Fight's pretty much a wrap. Chapter 11 trophy has been secured. Paranormal Investigator. Chapter 12 now. As Tifa, Cloud, and Aerith finally make their way to the Sector 7 plate that Shinra is trying to make fall on itself, the Whispers intervene. In this fight, we just gotta keep pressuring them to speed up the encounter with magic and hard-hitting abilities. As we make our way across, Wedge is gonna fall off the tower, and in the original game, he kind of just dies here, which is insane to see he doesn't from that height. But Aerith and Tifa stay back to tend to his wounds while Cloud makes his way up the tower solo so he can help out the rest of Avalanche. R.I.P. Biggs, may you forever sweep the dirt in our minds. After Cloud gets pinned down by the Turks, we actually end up switching to Tifa and Aerith's perspective again as Tifa tells Aerith that she needs a favor. She needs her to go to Sector 7's bar and find Marlene and make sure she's safe. That she needs to go right now and help out Cloud. There is an Aerith control portion here, but they kind of torture you with the slow movement, of course. As she's trying to help evacuate the slums, it's the good nature of Aerith. You can't just walk by people without helping. She gets knocked out here for a second, and we see Song, the leader of the Turks, has spotted her, and he's watching her from a helicopter above. When Aerith gets back up, she actually makes her way into the bar and finds a terrified Marlene hiding. Understandably so, Marlene is terrified, but Aerith calms her down by putting her hand on her. And when this happens, you kind of see, briefly, Aerith reveals a lot of information to Marlene, so much that it calms her down and lets her know everything will be alright. Her whole demeanor completely changes. There's so much to be broken down here on why this happens, but we're going to touch on it later because it's pretty damn good and I like this addition to Remake. It's actually a recurring theme. Upon leaving the bar, Aerith is confronted by Song, who technically saves her and Marlene, so in a way this was supposed to happen. We end up switching back to Cloud and Tifa's perspective as they reunite, and we see our first hilarious tell that Rude has a crush on Tifa, because he stops Reno from trying to shoot her. And after this, we progress up more, and sadly,
It's okay, Cloud. It's okay.
I mean, you still owe us pizza. Now we're back on the grind to go up and meet up with Barrett. For this Turks fight, the best thing to do is to have Barrett put on Synergy and Arrow, and if you have Sleep and Time Materia with Stop leveled up, at this point those will help out too. Mostly that's for hard mode, but you can still use it on normal. What I'd like to do here is to keep spamming Tifa's abilities like Focus Strike for dodging and dealing damage and pressuring, while Barrett will continuously spam arrows and make Reno fly around the map thanks to Synergy. You could also use Cloud's Disorder 2 for the same exact effect. When Rude shows up, we can literally put him to sleep while we finish off Reno. Just make sure you don't hit Rude. Once Reno is done, repeat the same arrow spam abilities on Rude, and it's cake. We are almost there to stop the Turks from pushing the button, but instead of Reno being here alone and pushing it by himself like in the original game, Rude comes through for the assist, and Barrett just loses his shit. During all of this panic, Song, the leader of the Turks, tunes in via a broadcast when Avalanche is trying to disable this bomb from blowing up, and he shows us that he's actually captured Aerith. He's explaining to them that they're going to die and they have no way to stop the bomb, and Aerith speaks out saying that Marlene is actually safe. The team tries desperately to disable the self-destruct sequence. Tifa is absolutely shaken up by all of this and seemingly gives up. Barrett's quick thinking finds a makeshift zipline and helps save them all as they make their escape. And if you guys didn't know, if you let this timer run out completely, it's going to reset the entire game and you have to start back from the beginning. This timer is actually just a placeholder and does absolutely nothing. Cloud, Tifa, and Barrett make their escape, and now we have a CGI version of Platefall. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I think the original game did this scene better. And the main reason for that is probably an easy fix. The music in the remake version of Platefall, in my opinion, overplays, and it's also not a good song. In the original game, it was very silent during this moment. You can hear people screaming for their lives, and that's kind of what made it more impactful, pun intended. And for some reason, they shoehorned Cait Sith super early into here. I feel like that wasn't needed. But the silence, if there was silence, it really would have drove home the emotional weight and give more depth to the moment. Especially in a scene where they show President Shinra and he was listening to classical music, not giving any fucks about any of his people, and showing insight to just how high above he is on his people and how he views himself both physically and metaphorically above them. Sometimes the lack of music is really needed in stuff like this. And in remake series, I will say there are plenty of moments where the absence of music would have said a lot more. It's kind of a missed opportunity, but I want to know what you guys think. Comment down below. What did you think about this scene? Do you think that the lack of music would have been better and more impactful? Chapter 12 trophy has been secured. The collapse. Now, John Eric Bentley, the voice actor for Barrett, he does an amazing job here in this scene. Throughout the entire game, really. But the emotions and pain felt in his voice really display the massive range with his character Barrett.
Biggs! Wedge! Jesse! God damn it! I said.
Cloud reminds the party that they need to go to Aerith's house because they may find Marlene there, as Aerith did mention this in the video transmission with Song. But of course, we need to get trolled by Sephiroth one more time. We make our way back to Aerith's mom's house, and then we learn about Aerith's backstory and what Shinra wants with her. Marlene is safe. Aerith brought her here before the plate fell, and Barrett is beyond grateful for what Aerith has done and vows to save her from Shinra. And we find out that Aerith's real mother died years ago after escaping Shinra with Aerith. And Elmira found Aerith with her dying mother and took her in and raised her like her own daughter. And she noticed Aerith was special. She had powers unlike she had seen before, having the ability to communicate with the planet and beings who have passed on, and knowing things about people that she should not have known.
Don't be sad, your husband's dead.
A man you really loved just died.
Now, before we go underground, by the playground, where the residents of Sector 7 have made up their new camp, make sure you buy the On Our Way song at the vendor here. Now, making our way through the Sector 7 rubble and helping out trapped residents get to safety, we do find some of Wedge's cats, and it leads us into this hole in the ground by Wedge's home. As we descend, we end up seeing Wedge laying down way further, by the way, from the hole. I just want to point out, I find it kind of weird that his body would have ended up all the way here, around the corner, through a... You know, it doesn't seem believable that he would have fell through the hole and ended up here. Somebody would have had to walk him here or carried him here. But that's besides the point. Before we can reach Wedge, our party falls even deeper into the pits, and we get separated. But in a cool segment, we finally get to control Barrett and do some dope shit with him. Most of the second half of this chapter, we pretty much control Barrett. This is very refreshing, finally controlling somebody else but other than Cloud, and for a significant portion too. Right after we regroup with Tifa, we actually can buy the main theme song from a nearby vending machine here. Barrett and Tifa are stuck fighting hordes and waves of Mako-pumped experiment enemies, and once we defeat the final boss and a few badass Tifa superhero landing flips, Cloud ends up regrouping with the party to deal the final blow. Now, behind this wall, we're actually given a little foreshadowing for Cloud. Nothing really explains as of yet, nor will it be for quite some time. But the Dementors intervene as we start to see a little bit more of it, and they push Cloud and the party back to the surface. And from this moment, we pretty much save Wedge and his cats. And we are the proud owners of the Chapter 13 trophy, Broken Dreams. Now we find ourselves at Elmira's house. Wedge is safe and he's resting, and Marlene is actually awake, keeping him company. And the scene progresses. We find ourselves at a multiple scene relationship point.
Maybe. You tell me.
You okay?
Don't I look it? I used to live in the Shinra building. Back when I was really
This is Aerith, but the way she's speaking and her mannerisms, it's almost like it's a different Aerith from who we know. And she's trying to protect Cloud from something by telling him he can't fall in love with her no matter what. Cloud says he's coming to save her, and then everything fades away, and he reawakens inside of her room. So chapter 14 is now starting, and it's a pretty short chapter. But because we are being completionists, it's one of the longer ones. Because we have tons of side quests to do here, and it's very important that we do every single one, or else we will regret it later. As soon as we leave Aerith's house, we're actually going to find the pedometer. Equip this to anybody immediately because we're about to do a lot of walking in this chapter, and this materia specifically will level up and transform depending on the amount of steps we take, and it's going to turn into an AP up materia, meaning that it's a blue materia. Whatever you pair this to will double the amount of AP that it gains, so it's going to help us out a lot when it comes to the end game and we need to level up more of our materia. And it's just the ultimate way to farm in the end game. Let's go! Whack-A-Box Wonderkind trophy has been unlocked. Screw these kids, do all the side quests. The Turks theme song is also very easy to miss. It's like way off to the side. You need to speak to this woman here off the main path towards Sector 5. She has it. If you speak to her, she's gonna give it to you.
Slow and steady. 1, 2, 1, 2. You are in the zone. Poetry in motion.
I wasn't even watching.
Gotta learn from this for next time.
Woo! Yeah, brother! What you gonna do? Let's go! My God, yo, back to back first tries.
Bro, I'm clutch.
The Johnny Experience Trophy has been obtained. Farewell, my sweet king. I'll see you in Rebirth. I can't wait to see what kind of simple trophies you have for us. One more music track can be found. It's a bit hidden behind the Honeybee Inn, but remember, keep an eye out. Cloud really loves this song.
What's up, man? You vibing with this jam too? You can have a copy if you want.
After you complete all possible side missions, you get the Divine Gratitude Trophy, and you're rewarded with this. We actually get an elemental materia, which is awesome. It's going to come in clutch. Again, equip this from now to whoever you want, so this way you can continue to build up XP for it, because they take forever to level up. And finally, the last thing is right next to us here. There's a Wu-Tai theme song just around the corner. You talk to this dude playing it, and he'll give it to you. And pretty much, if you haven't tied up all loose ends or completed all side quests, you're going to want to do that before we move forward, because you'll never be able to come back until New Game Plus. Check all the shops, purchase all the weapons that show up in the shops now that you might have missed, talk to Chadley, get all the intels done, find all chests and weapons you may have missed, because we are moving on. Chapter 15, here we come. Chapter 14's trophy is picking up the pieces, and we're the proud owners of that one. In Chapter 15, which is appropriately titled The Day Midgar Stood Still, majority of the enemies here in this chapter will be weak to arrow or thunder. Alternate between those two for your synergy character and other mains as well. Make sure you also have enemy skill equipped, because we're going to have a chance to learn a skill, Algidora, and I think it's the only place we can actually learn it from here. Everything else we can get from enemies within VR. You need this to be equipped to your character. Whenever the enemy uses Algidora, you need that character to go up and get hit by it. Just wait for the Cerulean Drake here to cast Algidora, and then go up in the air and intentionally get hit by it with the enemy skill, and boom, you unlock that move. There's actually a song coming up at an item shop here before we head on up, and it's called Lurking in the Darkness. Do not miss this one. We are almost done collecting all of the music, guys. As we make our way through, the party has an awesome moment where in silence they kind of come together, look over the once existing slums atop of Plate Sector 7, and it's decimated, reduced to rubble. Hundreds of thousands of people lay dead, and they are the ones being blamed for it. The group confides in each other and shares a really beautiful moment where Cloud even joins in and cracks a good joke, showing how he's grown and how the relationship with Barrett and Tifa is expanded even more. Cloud is learning to be part of the group and letting down his guard. Now for the Valkyrie boss fight, one of the best songs in the game. We're going to be using arrow magic a lot in this fight. It's very weak to it. You're just going to keep spamming it and using abilities to make it proc the synergy on whoever it is has that equipped. The third and final phase, however, when Valkyrie applies a barrier to itself, The chat kind of informed me of something really, really cool for this strategy, especially on hard mode. If you have time materia that's leveled up to get stop, you can actually hit Valkyrie with the stop materia, and it's going to get hit by the laser, break its own armor, rather than waiting for it and trying to dodge the laser like I did. So much better to cast stop and make it tank its own laser. And that's it. Chapter 15's trophy is ours. Pizza in the Sky. It's one of the shorter ones in the game. Now on to Chapter 16. The squad is ready to save Aerith. We got to infiltrate the building through the garage, and we get to see another top plate segment of Midgar, which is interesting, but sadly, of course, limited. Once we get within the lobby, it's strangely empty, but we are tasked with securing a key card so that we can get in. TIFA is the next person up for this mission because she can climb up to the facilities and makes her way pretty easily over there. There's a missile weapon here for her. It's called the Purple Paint, and it gives her one of the best abilities in the game, True Strike. Learn this ASAP, equip True Strike. It's going to help us get another trophy later on. Once we get up, we see a cutscene of Scarlet, who is the head of Shinra Weaponry, watching the company create a brand new materia. Fun fact in trivia, this poor guy at the bottom of her foot, this simp is actually named Ottoman. Confirmed by the devs, Ottoman. I mean, that's cruel, bro. Okay, real talk though, how do we get this job? Cloud, Barrett, and Tifa make their way up and have to go through this Universal Studios Museum of Shinra Electric Company and their history. I honestly love this inclusion of the game because it's a pretty crazy perspective in how Shinra views themselves, and seeing elements from museums in our real world and how it's realized in this game is kind of mind-blowing. Literally, if you go to New York City and you go to the new World Trade Center, there is a diagram set up almost exactly like this. Same with the Edge building too. I went there with subtext and we saved Aerith together. We also get a Final Fantasy X Easter egg here with Shinra in this photo taken here. After the crazy realistic VR simulation breaking down the Cetra, showing off how summons are used to coexist with them on the planet, you know, before Jenova and Shinra corrupted it. Speaking of corruption, Sephiroth hijacks the VR segment and forces Cloud to witness the future events of Meteor coming down in the third game to target Midgar and the planet. And he's in this cutscene taking out Barrett and Tifa slowly while creating probably one of the hardest shots in all of Final Fantasy VII, dude. This scene is insane. Right after this plays out, we switch over to Palmer's perspective within the Shinra Tower, and he witnesses Sephiroth in the flesh roaming around, which I don't blame him. Sephiroth has the hardest jump scares by far so far in Remake. After this segment, we actually meet up with the mayor finally, and it's revealed to us that he unfortunately has no power in Shinra whatsoever. He's been made a joke and regulated to a small office with no power at all, which is why he's actually been helping and fronting Avalanche this entire time. He's been helping out Barrett and their team without them even knowing. Remember, after this conversation, to talk to his assistant again afterwards. He actually has Barrett's final weapon, the EKG, and we have to buy it off of him for 10,000 gil. We then jump to a Hojo scene where he channels his 10,000% Diddy, freaking out Aerith and the rest of us with detailing his plans for her, you know, the whole breeding thing. Locate the jukebox here in this next section, and congrats everybody. We have found literally every single disc. You are done. You don't need to look for any more music. We have found every single song in the game and unlocked the disc jockey trophy. Finally. It was a nightmare finding all these in the editing, I can't lie. So I'm glad that we are through with it, because we finally get to make it to Hojo's lab, and he of course has an experiment waiting for us. Focus fire on the claws to pressure it and stun it. Main plan is to not stagger it in the first phase. Get it high enough, then in the second phase after the cutscene, you can then instantly stagger it. Wasting damage is no fun in this game, sets you up for, unfortunately, a lot of moments where you will waste damage. Tifa's True Strike, by the way, is life, guys. You need to really start focusing on using that. Third phase, we're going to focus the left claw again. Admittedly, this was done pretty sloppy. Sorry, RIP Cloud. But this fight is not too bad on normal. Hard is a different story. With the ads, it does do a lot more mechanics. And we get a full-on look, finally, at our boy Red 13. And then finally, Red 13 joins the squad. Not really, though. unfortunately. He's not playable in Remake, but we can see him fight alongside us in some fights, and he does help out. But I will say he is absolutely fun in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I have played since this has been out. Aerith touches Red 13 and gives him some crazy foresight, kind of like what happens with Marlene earlier in the game. Aerith has this connection we obviously know with the planet, as she is a Cetra, one of the last remaining ones, and with certain characters, it seems that her touch can reveal to them more information and calm them down, or this is potentially something that she can full-on control and exert at will, and she just chooses to do it with certain characters over others. I feel like it'd be way easier and way more plot efficient if she just did this with Cloud and everybody else, though. Let's just be real. Jenova penetrates Cloud's mind here, and now we are moving on to Chapter 17. Chapter 16 trophy achieved, no appointment needed. After being knocked out, Cloud actually wakes up in Aerith's old room that her and her mother lived in when they were trapped in Shinra. When you get up and you're able to walk around, the left side here, there is a weapon chest here. It's one of Aerith's final weapons. Make sure you do not miss out on it. Aerith basically in this cutscene breaks down for us that the Dementors that we have been seeing throughout the entire game are what is known as Whispers, protectors of the continuity of the planet, to keep events in nature to continue on its natural courses. And basically, whenever something tries to intervene or change the order of events that are supposed to happen, they appear. Sephiroth being here and obviously not being our Sephiroth, but a different Sephiroth is kind of why we're seeing them all around, because they're panicking and they're trying to keep him from changing things, which is what he's trying to do. Again, this is why examples like when Avalanche tried to leave earlier without Cloud, they broke Jesse's ankle and forced Barret to rehire and bring on Cloud. In many other situations, I'm sure you could recall when the Whisper showed up, it was 100% so that this way they can keep the story going on the rails that it's supposed to. Aerith describes that every time she encounters them, she feels herself slipping, and every time they take something away from her, but she can't and doesn't know what it is. Tifa reassures her that we are in this together and we're actually going to be helping each other out, try to prevent them from affecting her in this way. Soon, we're actually interrupted by Wedge, who's awake, and the mayor. They have a plan to help us escape, but we do need to work together on this because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on at Shinra right now. Chapter 17, new day and wardrobe change, because man, this chapter is rough. Only because of the intro portions, but still, it's fucking sucks. I hate this chapter. What I do find unfortunately consistent with Final Fantasy VII Remake and now Rebirth that it's been out is that the devs really struggle with pacing issues in the final chapters of these games. And in regards to that, consistency for their chapters. I do hope they figure this out for part 3, and if we hear that they have a plan to do 12 chapters or something stupid like that, that's immediately a red flag. If you played Rebirth, you know why. As we make our way forward, Cloud freaks out and the entire party can finally see Sephiroth, which is kind of scary when you think about it. But we all get split up, sadly, and here is where all the bullshit begins. The infamous Hojo drum. We don't get any main trophies here, it's mostly just Cloud's final weapon, which you can find Cloud's final weapon pretty early on, the Twin Stinger, right after you regroup with Barret. As soon as you leave that room and you walk through door number 1 and it closes behind you, it's a purple chest off to the left and it has a Twin Stinger in there. You need to equip this ASAP and learn the ability from it called Counter Stance. This is going to save Cloud a ton in combat situations, especially at the end game, because it allows him to parry every attack, even projectiles. Through this chapter, you're going to want to have lightning materia equipped on, by the way, and with synergy. We're going to be swapping a lot of materia back and forth between the parties because Aerith and Tifa will be doing their own thing, and Hojo is annoying us this entire useless chapter that exists mostly to mildly infuriate us and pad out the game needlessly. I said it. This chapter fucking sucks. It shouldn't exist. But hey, we get the first reference of the PHS system from the original game, and I think that's kind of cool, but they didn't even need it. Fuck this chapter. The crazy sawfish enemy is a mini boss here in chapter 17. This was like a regular enemy in the original game. It starts off against Cloud and Barret. It's not weak to a lightning, which was surprising, or arrow, I don't think. And then Tifa and Aerith get a crack at it right after. After Cloud and Barret finish up their segment with it, what you can do is you can hold down square during the cutscene, and on the bottom left of the scene, it'll show you that you can access the menu, and it'll let you equip materia that you put on Cloud and Barret back on Tifa and Aerith. These last few portions, these last few boss fights allow you to do that because they know they designed this shit stupidly. Finally, after that boss fight, we are back on the main path. But before we proceed, the elevator does ask us if we want to wrap up things around here, find any missing items or weapons. This is your last chance to get the Twin Stinger for Cloud if you missed it. Going up now, yes, we are still in Chapter 17, purple alien blood Jenova trails make an appearance, and President Shinra is just hanging out. For now, we have the most frustrating Barrett moment. I love Barrett, you know, it's been amazing, but they had to give him something. Not his finest moments. So much aura just ruined. Literally seconds right after this, one of the scariest Barrett moments of all time. Sephiroth shows up out of nowhere after waxing President Shinra. Thank you, Square Enix. They spoiled this in the final trailer in 2020. Sephiroth also kills Barrett temporarily, then makes us fight Jenova while we're panicking over Barrett potentially being dead here. And let me tell you, this fight, make sure you have the protective boots on Cloud and Tifa. At least all three of them, at least two of them if you can, three of them if you have it. Synergy needs to be on Aerith with BltzZ, and you gotta have breach materia on somebody to break Jenova's barrier. Jenova, once you have those items and accessories as well as the magic, it's a pretty fun fight. But without protective boots, you kind of have to spend a lot of time dodging and running away so you don't get frozen. Because you get frozen for a long time, protective boots stops that from happening. Also, breach is really important, or else you're going to be able to not do a whole lot of damage in the second phase when she starts putting more shields on herself. Breach is expensive, but it does break the barriers easily. She's a fairly straightforward fight, but of course, being able to use items in normal mode, it does help out a ton. So take advantage of the items because you're reaching a point where you're gonna be able to, well, you're not gonna be able to use them as much. Might as well use them now. After you beat Jenova, the Whispers revive Barrett because, like we said, continuity. Barrett's not supposed to die, so they bring him back. Cloud chases down Sephiroth, and we have an opportunity here to use the bench and save. You actually have two opportunities here, so please do one of them. As we approach Sephiroth, who is carrying Jenova, he jumps off of the building, and in slow motion, we actually see it wasn't Sephiroth at all. Instead, that the sickly soldier experiments can all be manipulated by Jenova and Sephiroth to do their bidding and shapeshift, or at least appear to shapeshift to other people. Kind of fucking crazy. And guess what, guys? Chapter 17 is still not done. Now we gotta fight Rufus. It's a pretty fun fight. Rufus reveals to the party that he is taking over the company after his father's passing, as it is his birthright. And with their inception of him, Shinra will have a new goal compared to that of what his father was trying to achieve. But first, we need to fight him. And it's a solo fight versus Cloud, like in the original game. The main thing here is to have First Strike equip onto Cloud with ATB boost and sleep materia for the solo phase versus him. All we really need to do is triple slash against Rufus and Darkstar. It'll break their tether and create a lot of space between them. When Rufus gets back close enough to Darkstar, it's gonna re-initialize the tether. You just keep triple slashing over and over again to kind of push them back and prevent them from tethering. Once you take out Darkstar and he's dead, he's gonna run away, and then we're in a new phase against Rufus. Basically, for this part, you're gonna try to get 1 ATB and cast Sleep on Rufus. It's gonna knock him out long enough for you to build up 1 ATB easily. Just make sure you don't hit him. And once you do, you can use Braver against Rufus, and it will instantly stagger him, which is pretty damn cool. And to quickly defeat him, you just go into Punisher stance for a full combo, and triple slash or Braver, whichever one works best, and he's pretty cake once you stagger him. And that's how you style against Rufus.
Shinra.
Seriously, how many times did the Turks practice this with him? Cloud is gonna fall from the tower, and just in time, badass Tifa, seen right here. She saves Cloud's ass. To be honest, I mean, I think the fallen Whispers would have intervened here. And guess what, guys? We're still in chapter 17. Aerith and Barrett now have an opportunity to hold square to set up their equipment in this cutscene. Make sure they both have arrow and lightning equipped. Pair Aerith with the lightning and synergy combo. Don't be like me, and make sure you focus the flying enemy turret, like lock onto it and deal as much damage as you can to it. Red 13 will pressure it immediately as you actually stagger it immediately as you pressure it and help you move into the next phase. My stream unfortunately crashed here, so we lost like the first 10 seconds of this fight. but I got hit pretty hard. You're gonna be basically focused on the drones here early on, and then when they're all gone, it's all about alternating between wind and thunder magic. It's gonna be putting up a barrier to block one of those elements. You just need to use the opposite one of what it's protecting against. And just make sure Aerith and Barret rain down damage and alternate in taking turns, and you gotta use your cover. There's a lot of places to hide behind because this enemy does hit hard and can shoot through some protection. Yes, Barret, you deserve it. Take a rest. When Tifa and the party regroup, Cloud arrives to just aura farm even harder than he did in the original game. And guess what, guys? Chapter 17 is finally done. That trophy is ours, emerging from chaos. Finally, we are in Chapter 18. It's no slouch on hard mode. How normal, it's pretty decent though. We have a bike minigame to go through with the Motorball boss, which is pretty straightforward. Just alternate the sides, hit the wheels opposite from what you're attacking, and apply pressure with Cloud. And then we get another Sephiroth jump scare right before it. Seriously, how many is that at this point? There's a lot of story to unpack here. Oh my god. As soon as the party encounters Sephiroth, the Whispers try to intervene because this is not something that's supposed to happen. And it causes a weird ripple effect where we jump to Zack of all people during his final stand against the Shinra infantrymen that ended up killing him. Well, ordered to execute him and Cloud, but just killed him. And you can see the Whispers circling around the infantrymen, but Zack can't see them. This is to ensure that they win so that the story stays on its rails. We then jump back to the party, and Sephiroth creates a portal and walks through before continuing forward. Aerith stops us to explain to us that if we do this, if we proceed further, we can't return to this particular moment. And she explains to us that Sephiroth is trying to commit his own way of saving the planet, but it involves a major atrocity of pretty much eliminating all of us. And obviously we don't want that, so we don't want him to succeed. We need to defy our destiny and change our paths moving forward, and this decision here does exactly that. So she purifies the portal Sephiroth went through, now it's become white, and as we make our way through, Cloud gets separated and starts falling from the sky, and everything appears the same, pretty much from where we just were, except for, you know, the 1,000-foot tall Harbinger spraying out whispers and trying to stop us from getting close. We need to regroup with Tifa and Barret, and in this fight, pretty much triple slash and counter stance are going to be your best friends. They're very important. Most damage you're going to deal with here, certain characters, will dictate who joins you later on in the final fight. So I like to try focusing damage more with Cloud, Tifa, and Aerith because, in my opinion, they have a stronger setup together. As you keep pressing forward, taking out the different color whispers, we finally come to an end where they summon a Whisper Bahamut, who's actually pretty squishy in comparison, so Magic or Limit Break can really detonate this Bahamut pretty quickly. After you defeat the Whispers, we're going to be blessed with a beautiful cinematic of Cloud slicing through buildings and trains with the Buster Sword, and descending from the sky is our boy. Sephiroth is going to start off this fight throwing out a Firaga at us, and all you gotta do is dodge that, hit him with a BltzZ, but before the BltzZ detonates, melee him once. It's going to cause him to go in pressure, BltzZ is going to stagger him instantly, it's going to be beautiful. This will immediately carry us into the next phase. Sephiroth kind of has like a preset moveset that he kind of has to follow, which is pretty cool, and it makes him predictable. He gets pressured a lot in this fight, which then you'll need to focus strike to stagger him. Eventually, Aerith is going to come through, or depending on who did more damage first, it could be Tifa, could be Aerith, maybe even Barret if you focused on Barret, and she gives the best line in Remake.
Yeah, so what? Screw him.
Enjoy.
Undisputed best line. You can block arrow here and then dodge, but I totally forgot. I just started spamming dodge. Ideally, here all you want to do is keep parrying all of Sephiroth's hits and alternate between parry and counter stance back to back. If Aerith can apply a barrier to you, that would be perfect, but the main deal here is to dodge the aerial onslaught because that attack is not parryable. And then, in the next phase when Tifa gets here, it's kind of a wrap on Sephiroth because, well, I'm gonna just let you guys enjoy it. How dare Sephiroth ruin such a cool ending? If he let me get that limit break off, it would have been beautiful. I loved going through this again with you all. We streamed this back in 2023, but we lost the footage when I moved, and man, I was depressed. Thankfully, I was able to recover it, but I lost the original script recording, which is okay. I had to refine it, and just want to say thanks again for waiting for this one, guys. It's probably been my biggest editing challenge ever, and a personal goal to do something like this with FF7 Remake, especially because it truly did change my life in 2020. This journey has been something I'll never take for granted. There we have it, guys. We beat the game. Chapter 18 trophy complete. Destiny's Crossroads. But it's not over yet. We still have tons of other challenges and endgame stuff and VR missions to wrap up. Are you guys ready? Now, upon beating the game, we actually unlock Chapter Select and the Chapter 17 VR missions, which is where all the endgame content is. That's where majority of the stuff will be for the first half. We need to do all of those challenges with every character there, and we have to grind out some materia for levels as well as enemy skills. Tons of stuff to wrap up some trophies. And by the way, this training mission here, 2-person versus high flyers, is the fastest way to level up your AP and your XP for your characters. All we need to do is have Cloud start off with a triple slash, and right before it hits the enemy, this giant wave of like the beetles, you're gonna pause and immediately reset. Cloud is gonna finish his animation, and it will still apply all of the AP and carry over. And then you get to run the fight over and over again very quickly. If you have a lot of gil, this will be really easy. If you don't have a lot of gil, I would say wait until after you finish hard mode and then come back here. But I promise you, this is the fastest grind in the game. And it's also how you max out your materials really quick. Now that we have Tifa's True Strike, we can get to 300% stagger trophy right now against the Fat Chocobo. Fat Chocobo is great for this because he has the most HP that we can manipulate, and it's a pretty easy fight to not get hit. All you gotta do is pressure it with Firaga and BltzZ, get him staggered, and Tifa can just continuously chain Omni Strike into True Strikes and use the whirling uppercuts to build up ATB. It feels amazing being in endgame and being able to do this now. After we secure that trophy, we can work on learning all of the characters' abilities. It's pretty easily done here, and again, it's all about equipping their weapons and then doing that move enough times in order to unlock it. Every weapon has a different proficiency rating, but you can get it done pretty easily here in VR. Another day, another outfit change, but we are ready to clap up Bahamut. Pro tip, thanks to the chat for this, make Tifa the party leader from your in-game menu. You can't technically choose who goes first against Bahamut, but if you do it from the menu, it's gonna hard lock Tifa as the first target, and this is great because Bahamut is one of those enemies like Sephiroth and endgame bosses where the character you are immediately starting to fight with, they focus them very, very, very hard. So Tifa is the best route for this. Arcane Ward on Cloud and Aerith and spam magic on his ass over and over again. And then finally, Trophy, Retrieve, Intelligence, Ancient. All the Chadley intel is officially completed. After we do some more grinding, we hit level 50, and I'm surprised this actually was only a bronze trophy. It feels kind of like robbery. Now the hard challenges, because we need to get Malboro's enemy skill, Bad Breath. Make sure you equip enemy skill on first, guys, before you go on this. We do have a guide on the channel how to beat these fights. Monsters of Legend is a fun one if Behemoth does cooperate. That's never a guarantee though. So please feel free to check that out, and make sure with the Malboro you get hit with Bad Breath at least 2 to 3 times. It's not easy to get the enemy skill on the first hit. It's usually going to take at least 2 or 3 hits. I've never seen it hit on the first hit. But if you're lucky, let me know in the comments down below if you got it on the first hit. I got super lucky here because Tifa and Cloud both got turned into frogs. I completely forgot to put a ribbon on them, but Tifa's frog actually jumped back into the Bad Breath, who had enemy skill, and we were able to secure it, thankfully. And we get a 2-piece for beating Malboro. We get the enemy skill trophy, and we get a trophy for completing Monsters of Legend and defeating the Malboro. And now it's time to replay and, well, speed run the main story again on hard mode to get all of the manuscripts for the characters. And while we're at it, we're gonna have to be doing the side missions and chapters for all the character dresses, because we do require a second playthrough to get them all. This time though, we're gonna be skipping cutscenes, so it shouldn't take as long. It's also handy that chapter select tells us exactly how many manuscripts we have left in a specific chapter. Doing all the side quests that we missed out and chapter select too, like in Wall Market for example, we did Chocobo Sam's questline, so we need to go back and do Madame M's questline, so this way we can fully complete every single side quest within the game and get that final trophy too. But for all the manuscripts, you do need to redo side missions because in hard mode, side missions reward you with new manuscripts altogether. Finally, we have the best in business silver trophy at the ready now. And now for my favorite trophy, the top secrets, which we needed to grind the materia and AP levels higher so this way we could deal enough damage for this. This fight has actually helped the channel out a lot in so many ways. We created so many different methods, and all of them work to get you guys completions on this daily. I've been seeing the comments, I see the regular views on it. I can't express enough how much I appreciate you all for enjoying the content, and I'm glad that this was able to help you over the years. But lo and behold, we do it, and we do it pretty clean too, almost a flawless, and done with all 3 Fury Rings. And we need to speedrun the game on hard mode, continuing through, skipping cutscenes, while using the same builds from normal, just a little bit more powerful because the materials are all maxed out and we're level 50 now. Most of the techniques for normal mode boss fights carry over into hard mode for bosses in regards to the build setups, but for majority of the boss fights on hard mode, we do have guides on the channel for how to do that. So here are some montages because we're not breaking them all down. Hey, why isn't he doing the dash? All right, bro. All right. You know what?
Nothing personal.
Really? Exactly what they need to do to make this outcome. Try this.
Aerith, how? How, Aerith, how? But we do have some rage moments. I don't know what the fuck is going on with the Harbinger boss fight. I feel like the devs did something to it because they were never this aggressive before in hard mode. I'm so annoyed right now. What the fuck? Nah, bro, they're way crazier than they were back in the day. Back in the day, it was just a couple counter stances and triple slashes and you get through them. This is hyper aggro. The first 2 waves are fine. The third one was kind of ass. I don't know if they buffed them or not, but it's just like their patterns are not making any sense to anything that I've played before. Bro, this shit is pissing me off right now. Fuckity fuck, man. Jesus fuck my ass. Now you're not gonna do any fucking attacks? I'm getting so frustrated. Come on, dude! Tifa, you missed! Tifa missed! No! What is this doo-doo ass, butt cheek ass motherfucking bullshit right now, man? Bro, I'm about to break my controller. It was going so fucking good until I had to switch to Barrett for a second, and then it all just went to shit. I got robbed! Are you kidding me? He should have fucking got stunned right there. That shit was changed or updated because they are way hyper aggressive than they've ever been. It's so hard to get your offense going, but overall it's still best to stick with Cloud. Use counter stance and triple slash as much as you can. It's incredibly difficult, especially when you're getting ragdoll to holy hell. And finally, the last challenge in story mode is to defeat Sephiroth in hard mode, which again, it's a pretty straightforward fight for the most part. There are some janky things Sephiroth can do, but once you get through that, you get hard mode veteran. Then you have one final trophy left, and it's hell. It's holy fucking hell. Dressed to the nines, we have to get the final dresses. We need to go through chapters 3, 8, and 9 all over again at least 2 more times, and we need to make sure that we hit the required numbers for all the other dresses. So for Tifa in chapter 3, no matter what, we have to do all the side missions in there, and that is going to create the discovery mission with Tifa where we are able to choose which dress we want her to wear. But that's not the only thing. You need to make sure you complete this chapter in its entirety. If you don't complete this chapter and you go to chapter select and you jump to chapter 8, you're gonna get stuck with the previous dress she had. So make sure you complete chapter 3 after selecting whatever dress it is that she needs to wear that you don't have before you move on to chapter 8. Basically get to chapter 4 after this and then chapter select to chapter 8. Now in chapter 8 with Aerith, It's a little bit more simpler than Tifa's. You only need to do 3 to 5 side missions here. It doesn't matter which ones. You need to do 3 to 5 of them in order to secure her mid-tier dress. You get that, and you're immediately going to go into Chapter 9 anyways, because that's where Cloud's dresses are, so you might as well play this all the way through. In Cloud's chapter, you need to do Madame M's side mission, which you probably already did, so you already have Cloud's other dress. You play through, you do Madame M's quest lines, you get the other white frilly princess dress for Cloud, and that's wave 2. Now we gotta do it all over again one more time, but it's slightly easier, except for Tifa. We're gonna do every single quest again in Chapter 3. I fucking hate this trophy. Then we need to choose the 3rd and final Tifa dress that we don't have in that chapter. Chapter select to Chapter 8. Do 1 side mission or none at all for Aerith. She's gonna get her worst dress. Carry over into Chapter 9. Do the same thing for Cloud. No quest at all. He's gonna get the worst dress. And there we have it. Dress to the Nines has finally been achieved. If you think about it, Tifa actually doesn't have any ugly dresses. That's kind of funny that that's the case. Like, Cloud and Aerith just totally get shitted on in that regard. And they did Aerith wrong with those cutscenes. Why is that dog so sick? Where did that tumbleweed come from? Why is Johnny so mean to her here?
Come on.
After the grind, the dedication, and the chat being there for us, we did it. We secured Dress to the Nines. And only a few seconds after, Master of Fate. We did it! Master of Fate trophy! Platinum, baby, let's go! Oh man, that felt great. Chat, we did it! Oh, all 3. And chat, just like that, we are the baddest bitch in Wall Market. Well, no, technically Tifa is. We've been doing this for a little over 1 month. This was a lot of fun doing this before Rebirth comes out, and I'm hoping I can edit this together and get it out before Rebirth drops. I think I can. It's just gonna be a little bit tedious. I do have to work my butt off for this. This is probably one of the biggest editing projects that I've ever given myself, but I think it'll be worth it at the end of the day. I seriously love this community, love Final Fantasy VII, and just what it's been able to do for all of us. It's just nothing short of amazing. I dedicate this replatinum to all of you guys. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, it means a lot to me to be able to do this, and dreams were achieved when this game came out. I want to hear from you guys down below in the comments. What platinum should we focus on next? I know Legend of Dragoon has platinum trophies now, which might be kind of fun to go through again with you guys. There's also a wide variety of RPGs, fighting games, and horror games. So comment down below. Let's hear what you all want to see next. Wait.